Hello, 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 and welcome to Comics Lunch Live. I'm your host, Bub. We're going to get into some books that I'm going to be hunting on MyComicShop.com. Links down below. If you don't have an account, if you don't know about them, they're basically the worst kept secret in comic collecting. So go down, click the link below, and then you too can maybe find some of these and share along in this fun. So basically that's what we're going to do. So today, what's up, Benny C? Good to see you. Today we have a weekly auction that ends. So their auctions end every Monday evening, most every Monday evening. So one of the reasons that I get excited about this auction is because there is generally a quarterly. I say generally because I'm not quite sure when it happens, but I know there's always one in April. But I think it's quarterly prime auction. Okay. So the quarterly prime auction just basically means that there is a bunch of big dollar books that come up in April. Well, that just ended last week. Okay. So because the quarterly auction ended, the prime auction ended, there's always some spillover where somebody wanted to have a big book get in the prime auction, but the prime auction has a few rules like how many books of a certain or how many copies of a certain book may be entered at any given week, or a cutoff for when you had to have these sent in and have them graded by them. And then sometimes people will send stuff in because they have to grade it themselves. And so send it into mycomicshop.com and then they'll grade it. And the grade comes back something that the seller doesn't like, because these are all basically consignment type books. So that's how that goes. So if they don't like it, they may say, no, I don't want it in the prime auction, hold it to the next regular auction, or mycomicshop.com may reject it for one reason or another. So, or they just got it to them too late and it didn't meet the cutoff and they don't want to wait till the next prime auction, which will be the next quarter. So they don't want to wait. So that happens sometimes. So this is a fun auction for me because often you'll see a lot of keys, a lot of Bronze Age, especially keys, where they have so many of those, right? That will come up and will be at a good price. And a lot of people blew their wad last week. A lot of buyers blew their wad last week and they can't afford any more books this week. So we'll see how it goes. All right. We got Jackson Roy Kirk. No, he is not auctioning off his collection. And Chris broke his hunting, sitting in front of your computer in your underwear at home. You got a camera on me? I'm watching you, Chris. All right. So let's get right into it. These lunch lives, they only go for 30, 40 minutes. So let's hop right in and see what we got. All right. Weekly auction ending April 29th. That is today. If you're watching this on the replay, it'll still be fun. And if I win any books, I will amend the description below to put the books that I won. And the bids, another disclaimer, the bids that I make today will not necessarily be my final bid. So these are going to be my starting bids, and I'll talk a little bit about my rationale for that. But these are basically going to be my starting bids. And then as it gets closer to the final auction time, I'll be revising some of these bids, raising them, or letting them go if it's a book I wasn't that hot on to begin with. So these are my starting bids. And then we'll see what happens from here going forward. All right. So it's really neat. They break it up into multiple sections. I've already kind of looked at the pre-1960 section. There's 30 pages and there'll be like 20 books per page or so. Well, actually probably more than that, probably like 50 books per page. So let's go ahead and I do it in the sections because once it gets to the real modern books, I don't really fool with it too much. Let's just see how many. Actually, I'll go to the pre-60s. I'll go to the 1960s because that's silver, right? And then I usually go to featured items, and then I give up because I don't have time to go through all these, right? So let's go to the pre-1960s and see what they have. And it's just 2 pages of these, so it's pretty light week. So we got Action Comics 119, which is nice because it has it's a 0.5 with a coupon missing, so that's not a big deal. And they're only wanting $80 for this, and it's already graded with CGC if you're into that sort of thing. Superman for a Day. This is only, what does it say? This is only a sample of what happens when Clark Kent tries to become Superman for a day. So this is, you know, a goofy thing, as they often are at this time. So yeah, 119, not bad. It is Golden Age. It's from 1948. I'm okay. I'm okay not getting this one. It's already at $80. Almost 6 hours left to the auction. I'm probably good with that one. What's up, CP? Good to see you. And haven't ventured far on my comic shop. Well, now's your chance. Click the link below. You'll enjoy it. All right. Here's another action. Guy is dreaming. Sandman of Crime. He's dreaming of defeating Superman. Maybe that's his special power or something like that. Something weird. $56 for a Golden Age Superman is not bad. Graded a 2.0 by My Comic Shop. Of course, it's not officially CGC or CBCS or anything, but that's not bad for that book. It doesn't have a lot of the subject matter that I'm after, and maybe that's why it's still only $56, but not bad. And then we've got this one. So this is one where it said pre-1960. Now, I don't generally collect the Silver Age stuff in this genre, so let's see. Love My Comic. I've got a $222 credit with them. Yes, I had a $200 credit with them as well, and I purchased a book with it just last week, and I'll show it off in a haul soon. Hey, Las Cruces, what's going on? Good to see you. So this one's got the comics code because it's from 1957, so I'm not a player on that. This one has also got the code, so not interested. Not interested. Now this interests me because I had been looking at this before. The Adventures of Buck Rogers, Big Little Book, and I've got a few Buck Rogers Big Little books already. So let's see what we got here. What's up, Azkaban? Good to see you. Hey, Azkaban, I'm going to be in Danville at a comic show this next weekend. If you're not doing anything, you stop by if you're even remotely in the area. What's up, Naman? Good to see you. When I closed our doors a couple weeks ago. Oh, man. I hate that. All right. So this one, 1934, the Big Little Book. I'm kind of getting full on those. Crayon marks on illustrated pages. Oh, restoration. So they fixed the tear seals, but then they left the crayon on the inside pages. And there's a blank leaf page. Yeah, this is rough. So only if you're in it for the cover. So you giving us things not bid on so far. I haven't bid on anything yet. It's got to be something good. This is pretty cool, but Silver Age, I'm going to skip it. Black Hawk, this is another one of those halfway in, halfway out titles where there were some that were Golden Age and some that were Silver Age. This is a Silver Age one, so I'm out on that. This Blondie is cute, but I'm not spending $30 on Blondies. Although it does have a nice little date stamp. That's cool. This big Bugs Bunny Big Little Book I was looking at. I think it's just a cool old Bugs Bunny. And, you know, his original form, if you will, before he was gray, he was tan. That's pretty cool. $25 is kind of rich for a Big Little Book. I try it, unless it's an extreme subject matter that I absolutely love. I stay out of the Big Little Books. I try and get them under 20. So usually like 15 to $20 is what I'll do on that. And, do auctions work similar to eBay? No. Their auctions are, there's no sniping. It's a no snipe auction. So they do a 3-minute runoff anytime there's a new bid. So if someone comes in at the last second and puts a new bid, then a 3-minute timer will start for any more bids, which I like, because when they do those sniping bids, it's just frustrating, and it's all about who has better internet connection in the end. So it's pretty annoying. Hey, what's up, Jimmy the Geek Aficionado? I was just thinking about you yesterday and wondering where you at, man. Where you at? Need to put out some more videos. We love you, brother. I spent more than 30 for Blondies. Yes, but I try not to, was my point. Now, then something like this pops up. This has a big handwriting on the front, but it's an old Captain Marvel. It's a 0.5. Interior is complete. Cumulative spine split. 4.5 inches, which is about half, right? Cover and centerfold detached, water damage, cover to cover wormholes. Oh no. All right, cover to cover. And yet I don't really see any on the front cover that bother me. I guess in the C for Captain Marvel, there might be one there. I don't know. I mean, at $8, I'd be a player on this. So let's make our first bid. So what I usually do is I'll bid $1. All right, Craig's not here. Sounds good, even though you know some sniping. But no, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not opposed to sniping when I do it and I win. Holes my friends made. Yeah, wormholes. That's right. And what's up, Russ? Good to see you, brother. All right, so I'm a player on this. I'm a low player on this. I'm going to put my opening bid at $16, and I bet it doesn't even get the thing. Let's see. It says I'm the high bidder. That's not going to last. I would suspect this book will go for about $21, $20 to $21. So I'll be interested to see what it ends up with. But we're going to start at $16. That's about where I'm comfortable. Not seeing a better. I mean, I don't really see where the wormholes are on this. It says cover to cover. So that was I don't know where they put wormholes on this. I don't see any wormholes. But that doesn't mean they're not there. And they might have meant the interior cover to cover, like all pages in between. I see none on the cover. There's a small little hole there, but nothing I consider a wormhole. There's another hole there. So yeah, there's a couple of little holes. I see 2 little holes, but that ain't much. Now, I do not like chew, but I will do wormholes aren't as bad. I just hello. All right, we're back. Sometimes the audio kicks out on this mic. I think it's this wire. I think it has a bad connection. I need to get a new wire because the mic itself never had this problem, but this wire is pretty long and I've got it kinked around a bunch of stuff. So, you know me and my kinks. All right. So there you go. We've got $16 is my bid on that. I usually do an even number and then $1 more. So 15, 20, whatever. And then 21 is what I'll do. All right. So there's our first bid. We'll see how it goes. All right. And I'm the high bidder. Who knew? All right. Deadwood Dick Library. Although many of you would think this is something I'm after, it's missing the front cover, and I don't usually buy coverless books. And then here's one that has the front cover. It's a different issue. You can see that's much better. So I would go for that. But now, when you see stuff like this, here's a Tech 52 or a Tech 183, but it's only $23. And they're at with Powwow Smith, the Indian lawman. That's what they're, Powwow Smith, the Indian lawman. My God. All right, let's take a look at this and let's zoom in and see what we think about this one. That's horrific. All right, so not bad. The famous name crimes. I mean, it's cool. It's got both of them. It's James Lincoln about to be assassinated in the same way President Abraham Lincoln was. So I guess somebody was going out there trying to kill people. The Phantom Menace was going out there killing people who had name recognition, like a little bit of name. That's silly. But that's Detective Comics and Batman and DC Silver Age and Golden Age. So let's take a look at this, and we'll go ahead. We're going to be a player on this. I say probably let's start small at 26 bucks. Didn't get it. Let's take another look at it. Do we really want to raise our bid on that? Would I be happy spending 30 bucks for this? Yeah, I'll spend the 30 bucks for it. 1952, nestled perfectly in the Golden Age. And I know a lot of Batman collectors, so if I ever get tired of this, I can offload it easy. So let's do $31 and see if that helps. And now I'm the high bidder at 31. That probably won't hold. Hey, if you guys still hear me, put a note in the put a note on the thing and make sure you can still hear me. So somebody say something. All right. Come back here. Looking good, looking good. All right. Next up, it's got the old Silver Age stamp. We don't care about that. Here's another silly book. We don't care about that. Thanks, Jackson. Yeah, we're going to skip all that tech silver. Here is Tilly the Toiler. Thanks, Russ. Yeah, that's not doing it for me. Sometimes there's a key artist on these. Like it'll be, you know, an old book, but everybody loves it. Let's see. Said you don't bid on that Batman book. Oh, appreciate it. All right. But I did bid on it. Well, I didn't bid on that one. All right. Now this Hands of Fate. That's some red dress distress, and it's a title I do like. So let's take a quick look-see at this one. 57 bucks. It's getting at the high end of my horror budget. It says, I warned you, there are no shortcuts in life. Now you must pay for your folly. So basically a Grim Reaper type character. There's these ghost hands coming out of the ground and choking her or grabbing her at least. It's kind of interesting. I like the red dress. It's not bad. It really isn't bad. I just don't know. If you guys hadn't figured out, I'm very cheap. So when it comes to these things, I like to get good books at a low price. This one, I just don't know what I'm going to do with this one. I feel like I would have been player at about $40 and it's already at 57. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a watch on it. So I'll just hit watch item and then it'll show up in my bids list, even though I didn't make a bid. And then later on in the auction, if I'm losing the other ones and not getting them, I might make a play at this one. So that's kind of how I do that. All right. The House of Mystery. It's not bad. It's just on the cusp. Technically you could call it Golden Age. But at the same time, it's more what I call pre-code. 1954, it's right on the line when they switch. In fact, we can take a look because my comic shop has excellent. This might be one of the oldest or one of the last covers that's pre-code. So let's see. This is number 31. We're going to do a little research here. Here's number 31. We're going to click the number 31 again. And now it brings you to the information. Okay. So now let's click on the whole House of Mystery. That was number 31. So let's scroll down and see when they added the code to this title. And if that's the last pre-code one, I'll probably bid on it. All right, there's 30. Also, this gives you an idea of what other books are going for. And as you can see, there's none for sale. There's none Golden Age House of Mystery for sale. So that's pretty cool. All right, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31. All right, so there's number 32. They have a 1.8 available for $105. And I like the other cover better. There's 33. Looks like it's for sale right now. We haven't got that far yet. Oh, I wish 34 was for sale. I like that one. 35. So it looks like they kept it going. All right, so there's 36. So 36 has the code. So that means the last pre-code cover was 35. And probably the best for Good Girl art was 34. While we're here, we're going to go ahead and put number 34 on my want list. So I do that. So now I'll get an alert if one of these comes up for sale. And let's go back to our auction. Let's see what we think about this, folks. My husband is a sorcerer. See your lightning split the tree. Your magic is improving, Luther. Not bad. I kind of like the good girl in the front, and at $20, I'd probably be a player. You know what's terrible is I'd probably be a player at this for $21. So we're gonna do that and see what happens. I bet I don't get the bid, but yeah, it's not enough. I don't know that I'd spend $25 for this, because that's the next likely price. I don't know. I feel like, well, it's Golden Age, it's DC. We'll go 26 on this and see what happens. Still, all right. I'm out because I definitely not spending $30 for this book. It's got one little piece of good girl art in the bottom corner, and you'd have to be really desperate to think that was hot. You know, a little 1 inch by 1 inch square of a woman. So we're skipping on that. And then and it says outbid, but it will still show up in my high bid. It'll still show up in my bids list. So here's the next one that we saw was going to come up. Little cover oxidation, cover detached. There's really nothing here that interests me as a book. It's already over $30. So I'm not a player on that. House of Mystery. Again, we're in some coded stuff. I'm surprised at this Men's Adventure. Man, who did that cover? That looks, Saul Brodsky. Oh man, I can't believe this is available. $16. 24. Oh, that's badass. All right, let's take a look at this. Always trying to get my money. All right, let's take a quick better. It says a 1.8. That looks way better than a 1.8. You know what? I wonder if it's trimmed, because that edge trimmed on all three edges. Yep, there you go. That's why it's so cheap, because you see you're missing some of the rest of the top here. You're definitely missing the 10 cent is missing, right? The edge. So someone trimmed this to make it look better. My feeling on trimming is I don't do it to books, but if I buy a book that's trimmed, it really needs to be a book kind of like this. Because if I was buying a book that I really, really wanted, that was on my want list, and I just couldn't wait to get it, and I've been searching everywhere for it, and then it turns out to be trimmed and I'm missing some of the art that I've been hunting so bad, often I will not pick that book up. However, if it's a book like this that I don't really care one way or another, I didn't even know it existed until now, then I'm more apt to get a copy that's trimmed, because usually you get it for a really good price. So we're going to go ahead and put 21 on this and see what happens. And I'm the high bidder at $19. That won't hold, but I'll probably end up increasing my bid over the evening, because I do like that book. And Saul Brodsky, that's a Saul Brodsky face right there. That's pretty tough stuff. I like it. Nauman says, now if you find a wedding cover, I might have watch on them. I might put a watch on them. I appreciate that. All right, let's see what else we got. Motor Life. I don't even know what this is. Is this a comic or is this a magazine? It looks like a magazine. All 1960 cars. Yeah, road test encompasses a Corvette. So I mean, that's kind of cool. 82 pages, so it's definitely a mag. Even electric powered cars. I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't know where they get Corvette when Corvette was 1963, I think. Isn't that when Corvette mostly came out? No, 53. So yeah. I mean, for $3, and it's a 3.5, so it's out of morbid curiosity, I'd probably pay $11 for that, just because it's cool. And I'm the high bidder at $4. I don't know what this person was thinking. I feel like you could have took this book and sold it on eBay for way more, with someone who's actively hunting this issue. Like, that's how I feel about magazines in general. Unless they're comic related, they shouldn't probably be on here, but they put a lot on here. Like, you get Playboys and stuff on here, but I think that they probably more belong on eBay. So I'm surprised that someone bothered to list that here, but they did. All right, Greatest Adventure. You see that stamp? I'm out. Army at War lot, but they are all coded, so I'm out. Out of This World. Actually, that looks pretty daggum cool. And it's an old Atlas book, but it's still in the code. So there couldn't have been, and that's only a number 7. So this must be a very, very short run. It's a Charlton book. Okay, it's a Charlton book. Let's take a look at this real quick. So you got a Charlton, $13. Let's see the whole run because it's got to be short as all get out. So here's the issue. So it was always a postcode run. Started in 56. And there's a couple of cool covers. 5 looks cool. 6 is cool. 7 is not bad. 8, 9, 10. So yeah, it goes on a little bit. And you can see some of these books are not worth very much. $10 for low grade, and an average around 20, $25. So that's a good way to kind of double check and see what's going on and kind of review it. So I'm not real keen on that book. Of all the other ones I saw, it was not one of my favorites. So, and it's already approaching at a 1.0. It's already approaching top dollar for this book. So I'm out. Rod Cameron, no offense to Ranger Sly and the rest of the Western bunch. I collect a very small amount of Western comics, and this ain't one of them. So here's a romance pulp. Looks like it's missing the cover. I'm out. It's only $1. Nobody's buying that. Oh, there's a Rula. Man, that's rough. Is that water damage or fire damage? Looks like water damage. Interior complete mold. When you see that mold word, most people will not buy this. And My Comic Shop is not very, they're not known. Like if it says mold, they mean mold. Like that means when you pull it out of the bag, you're going to be able to smell it. It's going to be like active spores, because if it just kind of used to have mold and you can see the markings of it, but it's not active, and they may look at it and be like, okay, it's stained, right? Or as prior, or it has water damage. Sometimes they'll call them water damaged if you see that. But you see where this is like pink over the Rula? It's like pink and white. That's real mold. Like that's active. We're not trying to bring any mold into the collection tonight, so we're skipping that. Strange Suspense Stories. Coded. Superboy, unless you're Gray Man, I don't think anyone collects these, so I'm out on that. The more Superboy, I just skip over Superboy. Now this book has had a crazy resurgence. So I bought this book. I want to say I paid less than $20 for this book once upon a time. It was super cheap, and I can't believe that somewhere along the line, this book just went boom and just skyrocketed in price, and it hasn't really come back down. So this one surprises me. So here, I'm just going over here so that you can see the sales data that they put there. Look at these prices. A 1.8 sold for $245. 3.5 restored for $250. 2.0, 130. There is not a single instance of this book selling in the last, or at least from here, in the last 10 years, almost, that's under $100. So I don't know what happened. Maybe I just bought it on a steal, but at the price that they're asking, I feel like at $31, this is probably still a steal. And I would say that since I already have a copy, this would be a book that I would potentially flip, because I have one of the main reasons that I'm looking here is, darn. Hey, what's going on, Ian? One of the main reasons that I'm looking here today is because I have a con that I'm selling at on Saturday. So if I see any just woefully underpriced books that I can win tonight in auction, I can get it shipped to me by Friday, and have plenty of time to go to the convention and get this done, because they'll ship out tomorrow. And if I do priority mail, it would get to me probably Thursday is what usually happens. And then if anything weird happens, the latest it would get to me is Friday. So it should be okay. And if not, I can just hold it for the next sale. But yeah, that's a really good price on that. Interior is complete, near complete spine split. So that means it's still attached, partially taped, but was splitting to first wrap and centerfold detached. So it's all complete. So I'm going to be a player at this at $46 because I'd probably buy it for 45. And I'm the current high bidder at 34. That's not going to hold. This book will probably end up selling. My easy estimate is that it'll sell for about $75. But if it gets somewhere around 50, I'm probably still going to be a player. And then after that, I'll probably let it go because I already have a copy. So this would be a straight up resale copy, and my copy is better than this one. So, okay. Next up, another Superman with a code, another Superman, a little bit of Lois Lane action. Sometimes those are fun, and they do sell well if you ever get your hands on some of them. But oh man, look at this. Tales from the Crypt with like some sort of handwritten date stamp. Oh man, that's killer. Interior is complete, full-length spine split with back cover missing. So it's a shorn cover. So there's only a front cover and the interior. That's why it was a Jack Davis cover. That's why this is selling for so low right now. But I would totally be a player on that. That is a killer book. And back covers, you want them, but if you don't get them, I'm not crying for Golden Age back covers. So I will be a player at $41 on that. I hope to get it for less than that, but let's see. Not the high bidder. I like it, but with the back cover missing, I don't know if I'd pay over $50 for it. I'll do 46, but I can tell you right now, that's my high bid. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out at 46, but it'll save it. And if I haven't won anything else, maybe I'll go back and change my mind, as budget moves around. But yeah, I really can't see paying over $50 for missing the back cover unless it was a book I was really after. Here's a nice target. Interior is complete, all 3 edges trimmed, spine severely damaged, book removed from a bound volume. Oh man. Front cover detached and adhered to a wooden slat. Staples added, not manufacturing. My God, 3-hole punch. Oh my gosh. This book has been through it. But the fact that it's attached to a wooden, you know why? You know why it's attached to a wooden, what do they call it? Splat? What are they, to a slat, a wooden slat? Because this is volume 2, number 1. So this is target number 1, volume 2. So that means that it was likely the cover. And then the issues behind it were 3-hole punch. So they put a wooden cover on their volume. I'm a player for the history alone on this one. And I'm going to go in at $21 and I might win this one. I'm the high bidder at 13. I wouldn't be surprised if I won this for $21. We'll see. I think it's pretty cool. Just to have a nice piece of history in my collection like that. All right, here's some more Target. What happened? Did I go too far? All right, yeah, here's some more Target. Wow, that's a nice book. Is this also from the same run? Interior's complete, all 3 edges trimmed, spine severely damaged, book removed from a bound volume. This is number 2. Oh boy. So if I get both of these, I can attach them together, or at least have them together and show that it was issue 1 and 2. Staples added, not manufacturing. Now it doesn't say anything about any wood slat. So chances are that there were more issues in this volume that were part. Let's look at the back cover. Yeah, it's just ripped off. Wow. Okay. So we're gonna be a player on this too. We're not gonna go crazy, and we want to be careful because even though the book's okay, I'm not really trying to win this book unless I definitely win the other one. So if I definitely win the other book, then I'll be a bigger player on this book. So I'm probably going to go low just to keep it on my list. We'll do $16 to make sure that I'm winning it. All right. So that's what we're going to do with that one. Tarzan of the Apes. No, I'm not buying any books today. Here's some pulps. It's pretty badass actually. That's a pretty badass pulp. Got the spaceman and the wonder stories and the girl. Oh man, try not to buy a bunch of pulps, but I would definitely pick that one up. Nothing wrong with it. I'm the high bidder at $16. Not a big one. All right, Tiny Tot Comics. I'll be skipping that. Thank you. Tip Top Weekly. I'm not really interested in those types of things. They're like magazine type, old stuff. Some of it I like, but that's not. And then Tomahawk. I mean, it's old, but again, I don't pick up much of that frontier type stuff. All right, here's some more Tomahawk. There's some Disney comics. I'm surprised. It's got some bondage if you like your duck bondage. All right. Now, I don't really pick up too much Disney stuff. That Pluto is pretty tough, though. Is that a Big Little book? Yeah. That's cool. All right. Here's a weird fantasy I've been eyeballing, but man, is it rough on the side. And it's completely missing the back cover. It's got a full-length spine split taped, and interior is complete. The final issue before the series became weird science fantasy. In the next number 23, it's Joe Orlando cover. I like all those things about it, but I feel like the price is already too high for this book. I'm going to make sure that I have it on my want list because I'd rather pay $45 for that book and get a nicer copy of it. So stealing it at 30 isn't really going to satisfy me. So let me go over here. I mean, you can see $90 for a 1.5, but I bet that looks a heck. See, I'd rather spend that. Bet that looks a heck of a lot better. I mean, that's a huge, and for $100, that's not bad. So we're going to make sure this is on my want list. It wasn't, so I'm adding it to the want list. So lots of fun things you can do with this. All right, Wild Westerns. Again, not a huge Western fan, but I do like this mix. So you got Arrowhead, Kid Cult, Black Rider, and the Two Gun Kid. That's cool. I kind of like that. $36 though. I'd have been a player at like 26. It's already at 36. I don't think I want that for that much. It is cool though. And I like the Wild Western. I like it, but I'm just not. So I'm going to put a watch on this and then just see what happens with it. That's a tough one. I would almost get that one. All right. Wings Comics. I do like these, but I try to get some with some good girl art on it. I do like the Leah Elias covers as well. This is a Gene Fawcett. It's not so bad, but I too tend to gravitate towards the Leah Elias covers if I can get them. So not bad. He's punching out a Nazi. I mean, a Nazi punch out cover has its own group of people that like it, but I'll probably abstain from that one. All right. So we'll go to the featured and see how long it is. Looks like it's just one page of featured. Let's take a look real quick. So here's newsstand edition of G.I. Joe #1. I don't know if any of you are collecting that. I know some people are ravenous about the G.I. Joes. I'm okay without them. I don't have a G.I. Joe #1. I would like to have one, but I don't need to spend. That's a pretty high grade. Too high for me. Godzilla 9.8. Godzilla. I think I have a Godzilla #1. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't need a 9.8. First Zatanna, a 6.5. I do need one of those. I just wish so badly that she was on the cover. It's such an ugly book. I tell you what, too, like I'd be more apt. I need to look up what the first cover appearance of Zatanna is, and I'll probably get that book. Because I did that with Gorilla Grodd. So with the Flash, the Gorilla Grodd first appearance, he's not on the cover. And so I picked up the first cover appearance of Gorilla Grodd. And sometimes I like that better. And I think I may do that with Zatanna because I really don't care anything about this book. It's just so ugly. And it's slabs. So you can't even see the actual panel where Zatanna is. So those, when they're first appearance and not on the cover and it's slabbed, it's like, I can't pay for that. Like that just upsets me. All right. Incredible Hulk, 9.8 direct variant. I mean, that's a badass book, but I'm not paying that for it. First, and I already have it. First Sabretooth, already have that. It's not a bad price for that, actually. I feel like that's a fair price so far. Of course, there's still plenty of bidding left to be done, but actually, I think that's a pretty good price. Boy, has this book dropped. Ultimate Fallout. Now, it'll never be as low as it used to be. Obviously, once the hype on this book came alive and people were buying it. But the beautiful thing is that there's a crap ton of these things. They were not underprinted. There's a ton of them. And they're all high grade because it's a brand new book. It's brand new. It's, anything 10, 12 years old now, or almost 15 years, but still it came about at a time where people were taking care of their collections. So it's a modern book. And so the direct edition first appearance is very nice. 9.6 is a good grade, but I'm not paying that for that book. And I don't have that book, and I don't necessarily want that book. I would only want it because to have it in the collection, to make my collection more well-rounded, but that's not good enough. Now, what's funny, this book is doing the opposite. So this book tanked a couple of years ago when, Channing Tatum was supposed to be in the X-Men movies and, whatever. And then there was talk of the MCU, and they're like, oh, we're going to bring Channing Tatum into it and all this stuff. And when Fox got bought by Marvel, then the talks came again. So it just kept trending. And then when that ended pretty much, and they were like, yeah, we're going to do X-Men down the road. And they didn't say that they were going to do X-Men right away. This book dropped. Then, if any of you watched, I think it's episode 5 of the new X-Men 97 series, Gambit had a big part in that. It was heavily featured. And he's kind of always been a fan favorite of that series. That's the series that kind of put him on the map. So this book has jumped up again. Now people are all after Gambit, and the Gambit hype and the Gambit love is real. If I were you, I would wait. Wait this out. First of all, the first season of that show isn't even finished yet. So we don't really know where his story is going to go. Is his story over? Is it just in flux? Who knows? So if I were you, I would wait on this book. Do not pay these prices, because this book has a long history of going up and dropping again. So where the Miles Morales book is dropping, this book is on the rise, and I would wait this out. That's my hot tip for you all. Do not buy this book right now. You could probably get this book in 6 months for less, because I bet a bunch of raw copies are being sold right now and people buying them up. And they're all, as soon as they come back from CGC, they're going to sell them on eBay, and the market's going to be flooded with them if they're not already. And then as people stop buying it, as the story progresses, they may go ahead and be a fire sale on these in about 6 months. So be on the lookout for this book in 6 months. Do not buy it today. That's my advice. And if I'm wrong, I'll delete the stream and nobody will know. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I think that'll do it. That's what I like to do. So let's take a quick look at the View My Bids. So we'll go over here and we'll see what I have going on. So this is really awesome. This tells you, it takes everything that I just did, puts it on one screen. So now here's the ones that I've bid on. I'm a high bidder on some of them. I just have a watch on this one so that in case it goes, because I liked that Hand of Fate book. That was a red dress distress book. But here, and then I kind of do a little bit of mental math, and I look at it. I'm somewhere around 45 here. I'm about another $32 there. So I'm at 77, and say another $50 between them. So we're about 75 and 45. I don't know, about 125, 130 bucks. Then another, now my mouse died. Then I'm at another 30. So we're somewhere around $200. If I won everything for the price that I bid, and the ones that I'm still currently winning, I'd be somewhere between $200 and $250 for all those books. That wouldn't be too bad. Now, I doubt that I win them. I would say I'll probably end up winning one or two of them is what I usually do. Because a lot of these, I won't increase my max bid, but a lot of them I will. So like the Motor Life, that little, Corvette one, I'm probably not going to go much more than 15 or 16 bucks for that book at the most. So a lot of these are already starting to tap out on me. So there you go. All right. Craig says, thanks for the hot tip, bub. That's what she said. I appreciate that, Craig. All right. So that's it. 45 minutes, not too bad. A little long for a lunch. I better get back to work. So appreciate that from everybody. And that's it. So we'll catch you next time in Bub's World. Remember, let me grab a quick book here real quick. But remember to, that's not bad. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye-bye.